Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing really well. I hope you and your family are healthy and having a really good day. Thanks for joining me. We're going to look at Chapter 3 of the Velveteen Rabbit. Before we look at that, though, let's answer the questions from Chapter 2. All right. Question number 1. What sentence from the text best supports the idea that Nana is in a hurry? So the sentence that specifically states Nana was in a hurry isn't going to be your supporting sentence. So that's not going to be the answer choice you're looking for. A supporting sentence is going to tell the reader about the actions of the character, and those actions are going to support how the character is feeling. So the supporting sentence could demonstrate how the character was feeling, even if the text didn't specifically tell the reader how the character felt. So it never needed to say anywhere in the story that Nana was in a hurry. We're just looking for something that shows that she was in a hurry. So the answer is the sentence that says, "Here," she said, "take your old bunny. He'll do to sleep with you." And she dragged the rabbit out by one ear and put him in the bunny's arms. So just the idea that she's like, oh, he'll do. He'll do, what showed that she was in a hurry and didn't have time to worry about finding that China dog. All right, question 2. Which of the boy's actions demonstrate that he loves the Velveteen Rabbit? Okay, there are a bunch of answers to this one. There are several ways the boy shows his love for the rabbit. One way is that he hugs him tightly all night long. Another way is that the boy takes the rabbit with him wherever he goes. The boy can't sleep without the rabbit, and the boy gets upset when Nana called the rabbit a toy, and then he tells Nana that the rabbit is real. Question 3. Which words best demonstrate how happy the Velveteen Rabbit had become? So the rabbit is so happy that he can barely sleep, and he feels like his heart will burst. Which one of these is the best demonstration of the rabbit's happiness, though? The answer to this one is, here's the words that show that. So much love stirred in his little sawdust heart that it almost burst. Okay, that's the best answer because having a heart burst seems much more extreme than being so excited that you can't sleep. So the best answer to demonstrate something is going to be the one that really is the most extreme example of how someone's feeling. Number 4. What does Nana mean when she says knowing expression? She said that rabbit had a knowing expression. We understand what knowing means. It means to know something. We also understand that an expression means the look on a person's face. So what Nana means is that the expression on the rabbit's face seems different and that the rabbit seems to understand more than he used to. He knows more. She doesn't know the rabbit has become real. But this demonstrates that becoming real actually occurred and even changed the expression on the rabbit's face. All right. So those are your answers. Before we start reading Chapter 3, also, let's look at a couple of vocab words. Some of them are just more British terms, and we need to be familiar with those. This is a British story. So the first thing they're going to talk about is the little boy will play at brigands. That just means he's playing cops and robbers. A bracken is just the ferns on the floor in a forest, or they call it the woods in this story. And then cozy is spelled C-O-S-Y, which is the British spelling for the U.S. word cozy. And then hind would mean back. They're going to talk about his hind legs, and that would just mean his back legs. All right. We will look at those chapter questions whenever we finish reading the story. Okay, let's look at Chapter 3. Remember, in Chapter 2, they just went over what happened in the spring, and the little rabbit just became real. And, he's super happy. So let's see what happens next. That was a wonderful summer. Near the house where they lived, there was a wood. And in the long June evenings, the boy liked to go there after tea to play. He took the Velveteen Rabbit with him, and before he wandered off to pick flowers or play at brigands among the trees, he always made the rabbit a little nest somewhere among the bracken, where he would be quite cozy. For he was a kind-hearted little boy, and he liked Bunny to be comfortable. One evening, while the rabbit was lying there alone, watching the ants that ran to and fro between his velvet paws in the grass, he saw two strange beings creep out of the tall bracken near him. They were rabbits like himself, but quite furry and brand new. They must have been very well made, for their seams didn't show at all, and they changed shape in a queer way when they moved. One minute they were long and thin, and the next minute fat and bunchy, instead of always staying the same like he did. Their feet patted softly on the ground, and they crept quite close to him, twitching their noses while the rabbit stared hard to see which side the clockwork stuck out. For he knew that people who jump generally have something to wind them up, but he couldn't see it. They were evidently a new kind of rabbit altogether. So we got to think about this. The little boy has told the rabbit he's making burrows for him under the covers because that's what real rabbits do. But when the Velveteen Rabbit sees real rabbits, he doesn't understand that they're real. And it's the first time he's seen real rabbits. He just hasn't been, out and about much. And the only thing he can think of, his background knowledge just tells him, these are some pretty cool toys. They are way cooler than me and newer and pretty fancy. Let's keep reading. They stared at him, and the little rabbit stared back, and all the time their noses twitched. "Why don't you get up and play with us?" one of them said. "I don't feel like it," said the rabbit, for he didn't want to explain that he had no clockwork. "Oh," said the furry rabbit, "it's as easy as anything." And he gave a big hop sideways and stood on his hind legs. "I don't believe you can," he said. "I can," said the little rabbit. "I can jump higher than anything." He meant when the boy threw him, but of course he didn't want to say so. "Can you hop on your hind legs?" asked the furry rabbit. That was a dreadful question, for the Velveteen Rabbit had no hind legs at all. The back of him was made all in one piece like a pincushion. He sat still in the bracken and hoped that the other rabbits wouldn't notice. "I don't want to," he said again. But wild rabbits have very sharp eyes, and this one stretched out his neck and looked. "He hasn't got any hind legs," he called out. "Fancy a rabbit without any hind legs!" And he began to laugh. "I have," cried the little rabbit. "I have got hind legs. I'm sitting on them." "Then stretch them out and show me like this," said the wild rabbit. And he began to whirl round and dance till the little rabbit got quite dizzy. "I don't like dancing," he said. "I'd rather sit still." But all the while he was longing to dance, for a funny new tickly feeling ran through him. And he felt he would give anything in the world to be able to jump about like these rabbits did. The strange rabbit stopped dancing and came quite close. He came so close this time that his long whiskers brushed the Velveteen Rabbit's ear. And then he wrinkled his nose suddenly and flattened his ears and jumped backwards. "He doesn't smell right," he exclaimed. "He isn't a rabbit at all. He isn't real." "I am real," said the little rabbit. I am real. The boy said so. And he nearly began to cry. Just then there was a sound of footsteps, and the boy ran near them, and with a stamp of feet and a flash of white tails, the two strange rabbits disappeared. "Come back and play with me," called the little rabbit. "Oh, do come back. I know I am real." But there was no answer. Only the little ants ran to and fro, and the bracken swayed gently where the two strangers had passed. The Velveteen Rabbit was all alone. "Oh dear," he thought. "Why did they run away like that? Why couldn't they stop and talk to me?" For a long time he lay very still, watching the bracken, and hoping that they would come back. But they never returned, and presently the sun sank lower and the little white moths fluttered out, and the boy came and carried him home. Okay, that is the end of chapter 3. The rabbit met some real rabbits, and he is really feeling new things and wanting more. He used to just want to become real, so we got to pay attention to how he's changing throughout the story. He just wanted to become real. They're saying he's not real. Now he's thinking, I want to be able to move around like they do and jump, and I want hind legs. So he's wanting more as the story goes on. Let's look at some questions about that chapter. I want you to think about these and be ready to answer them. And we will talk about the answers before we read chapter 4. First question. What does the word queer mean in the third paragraph? Second question, which words best help the reader understand the meaning of the word clockwork? Third question, why didn't the Velveteen Rabbit want the other rabbits to find out he had no hind legs? And 4, why does the Velveteen Rabbit nearly begin to cry? Okay, that's all for this lesson. Please come back and join me for chapter 4 of the Velveteen Rabbit. Things will get much more interesting as we go along. All right. Hope you have a really great day, and I hope to talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.